Welcome into a Hail Varsity exclusive. Teraya Sigler joining me now, one of the incoming freshmen for Nebraska Volleyball. Teraya, how are you doing today?
I'm good. It's in Arizona. It's still really cold, but I'm living life right now.
Hey, it's about to get a little bit colder here soon when you move into Lincoln, but how excited are you to join the Cornhuskers?
I don't really have words to describe how excited I am for this. I think, you know, I've been committed for almost 2 years, a year and a half, and now that it's finally starting to actually come into effect, and move-in date is coming sooner, it's kind of like, oh my gosh, like I don't know. It's like, what is life anymore? I feel like you've been dreaming about this for so long and it's finally coming into reality. So I'm over the moon. I'm excited, nervous, but like in a good way.
Yeah, take me back to your recruiting journey. When did you first get into contact with the coaching staff at Nebraska?
Well, June 15th, they were my first Zoom call. I remember I went to camp freshman year, and I don't know, freshman year, you don't really have those recruiting conversations, obviously, because you're just having fun playing volleyball. I mean, I think I was in 14s or 15s. And so I remember we get emails too, but like I remember them being my first Zoom call, and since then it's been constant communication. I've gotten your letters, your basic questionnaires, and so I don't know. They've always been on my radar, so I was really happy to get a text message and a Zoom call on June 15th.
Yeah, what stood out to you initially about Nebraska and wanting to pick that program?
Well, so when I was 10 years old, they were the first match I watched, and so on television. So it was just like, the crowd, you can feel it through the screen of seeing just like how much people love watching volleyball and how much they celebrate the sport. And so I feel like that was really important to me because volleyball is growing. Obviously, things are starting to, we're breaking records. We're starting to get as much notice as some of the, male sports. But I always admire how much they celebrate volleyball in Nebraska, and so that's something that I truly wanted in a program, was being celebrated. And obviously, everywhere you're going to go, you're celebrated. But truly, there's no place like Nebraska, and there's no place like the culture and the history of Nebraska. And so, honestly, like once I got that text message on June 15th, it was just hard not to say yes. So,
Would that little girl that watched that very first Nebraska game believe that you'd be playing in a Cornhusker uniform?
probably not. I feel like oh my gosh, I just remember like being on the Zoom call, and I think I even told John on the call, I was like, this does not feel real right now. Like, this is little me would be screaming. And I honestly think that like your recruiting process is so unique to you, and it honestly hurts my heart when girls are like, it's so stressful, when it shouldn't be. You're literally being celebrated for your hard work, and schools are reaching out to you and they're pursuing you. And so I my recruiting process, as it might have seemed short, obviously your recruiting process is from when you first started playing competitive volleyball. So little T would not expect to be where she is now, but grateful, excited, and just excited to see where this takes me.
Yeah. How much work has gone into this thing for you? I mean, you're up there on the boards, ranked as the number one recruit, and I'm sure you don't take a lot of that to heart. But when you look at those boards and you see your name up there, I mean, your hard work has paid off. How much has gone into this journey?
I think a lot of it is a lot of time, late night practices, tournaments, early mornings, traveling. I think, yes, as much as like the practices and the workouts and the skills training goes into it, obviously, but there's a lot of time that goes into it, of just like having to stay engaged throughout. I mean, at my club especially, they really emphasize that like, yes, you are good, you are in a good like environment, but like there's someone out there that is working just as hard as you, that is doing the same things that you are, and it's like that, really like that humble factor of just like, yes, you are ranked number one, or you're going to like one of the best schools in the country, but you can always get better because there's someone out there that has same status, same ranking as you, or if not really close to that. So I feel like a lot of it is like that mental toughness of like having to stay engaged throughout your entire journey, and having to, how much you're going to put into it, because that's how much you're going to get out of it. And so I think really learning how to just like stay engaged, because it's a long process, not just volleyball, obviously, for all sports. And so, especially with new rules coming into NCAA and all of these new changes, it's like staying focused is one of the most important things. So I just think like giving gratitude to like my mom and my family, my club, just because it's a lot of time and a lot of effort to, you know, club is expensive and tournaments are expensive and travel. It's just all of it. Like I think for me, it was that I really wanted to show that like all this effort was worth it and that it was going to go somewhere in my life. And so that's something that drove me to be where I am now. It was just to see how far I could work as hard as I can while still loving playing the sport. So
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah.
I think that's a huge point of it. You bring up having fun, and I've heard you say that in interviews too, of just wanting to bring that joy to the game. But also, there's that pressure aspect, especially being ranked as high as you are. What kind of perspective do you bring towards that pressure, and what kind of energy and positivity do you bring to the court?
Ooh. I think like obviously no matter what position you're going to be in, dream job, dream position or dream anything, there's always going to be their flaws. Nothing's perfect. And so I think learning to find joy in like the little things, like obviously I don't want to go and do conditioning, but there's a lot of people that would love to be in my position to do this kind of conditioning, this kind of training, or, I don't really want to do this, but it's like giving that perspective of gratitude of like, wow, I really don't want to do this. But again, there could be worse situations that I'm in. And I feel like that's why I love volleyball because that little glimpse of celebrating after every point and coming in to embrace your teammates, I think is so special because you're able to give gratitude to your teammates for a play or like give praise for their hard work in the middle of a game. And so I think that's why volleyball is so fun because you're able to like express that joy on another level. That's why I
Mhm.
think volleyball is so different than any other sport. And so I think playing with joy and finding joy in situations because again, there are going to be low points in your game, your life, any aspect of what you do. It's really learning how to just take a deep breath, look at it from like a bigger perspective because
Yep.
truthfully, no matter where you are, like there is someone out there that wishes they were in your position. And so I just think that's really helped me because it's given me a lot of grace of like, wow, I really can't seem to figure out this skill. Instead of being down on myself, it's giving myself that grace to just be able to grow and learn because we all learn differently. We all pick up things differently. So beating up on myself doesn't help the fact that I'm still learning. I'm only 18 years old. I'm still trying to figure out how life even works and how volleyball is going to work at a higher level. And so, like, giving myself grace to it's going to take time. And so, I think playing with joy is just the only way you can do it. It's as much as college is now starting to become as like a job or whatever, it's more like work hard as you can for as long as you love doing what you're doing. And again, not going to be perfect. You can't expect it to be, but like still knowing that like you're in a really good position and like seeing where you can go from there, I think is super important.
Yeah, and you go from obviously your high level club and high school team to another very high level program in Nebraska and how John Cook runs that. And I mean, we talk about pressure. I mean, that program wants to win a national championship every single year. But does that excite you of that expectation for success in that culture?
I I'm so happy that you brought that up. I love the fact that they are just like one, they're hungry to go after something so large as a national championship. And it's one thing to say it, so another thing to actually work for it and do it. And so, as much as Nebraska's come up short, it's like the consistency of being in those high level like positions is I think speaks volume about the program that they're always in the final four or they're always in the national championship match or they're always highly ranked and coming into postseason. And it's just like that makes me super excited because obviously with different people and different levels of volleyball, you have different levels of people caring. And it's really exciting to see that all these girls have the same goal of just to get as good as they can, win a national championship. But I also love that they're wanting to be good people. And so another part of just I love Nebraska is that like it's not just volleyball, it's all sports, that they're all just gritty and they all just want to be great. And so I'm excited. It's a little nerve wracking that we might be in a position to play for a national championship wearing like Nebraska across my jersey, and so
Mhm.
that makes me excited. It makes me a little nervous, but I mean, we wouldn't be anxious about something if we didn't care. So I'm all the emotions, all the feel. That makes sense.
I love it. Yeah, no, and not only do the players and the coaches care, but also that entire state. I mean, you've seen firsthand how much Nebraska embraces volleyball from the stadium match to any Anything you turn on TV, you can hear it and you can feel it. Have you gotten to experience that at the Bob?
Yeah, I went to a few matches. They were my first college matches. I've been to oh gosh, I went to Minnesota, Ohio State, some pretty big. Oh, in Michigan, some pretty big
Mhm.
matches, and so you don't truly know how big and how much the Bob carries until you're there and you're like looking around. You're like, oh my goodness, like wow, and it's like even seeing like what is it called the intro video of
Yeah.
everything the lights go down. It's like it truly just gives you chills of like wow, this is volleyball. This is Nebraska volleyball. And it's like even like John would tell me and be like, yeah, this wait list for season tickets goes like miles long. It is and I mean, they're gonna tell you like, are you ready for the publicity? And you're like, it possibly can't be that big. And then like I remember hitting post when I committed and it was like, whoa. Like a lot of people care. And like that's amazing. I just didn't you just don't know until you experience it. And I haven't even fully experienced it yet. So it's like eye opening of like, wow, this is a lot. And it's like all good, but like it's amazing to see that people care so much about volleyball
Mhm.
and even like just women's sports. And so I mean I've barely gotten to experience it, but what I have experienced has been nothing short of amazing. So
Yeah.
I'm of loss of words of how Husker Nation even functions, but it's all
Yeah.
amazing.
I mean, I see it firsthand. When you walk on campus as a volleyball player, you truly are a celebrity in a lot of the eyes of the Nebraska fans and the students. Again, keep going back to the word pressure, and it is a privilege to have that too and get to experience that. But when you think about your game and what you want to bring to Nebraska, like what can fans expect out of you? What do you hope to show out on the court in your first year?
Oh, I think I would want fans to know that like just like showing pure joy in something that I'm doing. I believe that just like laughing and smiling, obviously time and place, but I think showing that like that I can bring more to the table than I think people will realize. I think like as much as the rankings show and all the articles and all the accolades, it's like once you hit college, it's like a totally different ball game. And so hopefully to have this freshman year season as Harper Murray and having that breakout year of just a young girl who just goes out and shows the world that she's Harper Murray. And so I just hoping that people see that I'm also not just a good volleyball player, but a good person and wanting to show that like that's not all I have to offer in volleyball is just my sport, but also who I am as a person. I hope people think that I'm funny and that I'm someone that they want to be around. And so I think that goes along with the program of like not just growing great athletes, but growing better people.
Mm. Yeah, I think you also have a really cool opportunity to also use your platform for good, and you can use your following and everything like that to do more and be more than a volleyball player. What do fans need to know about you outside of the sport?
Ooh, outside of sport, I am a coach. I've coached young volleyball. I've coached 12-year-olds. And I've learned to love coaching. I've also learned to give so much thanks and gratitude to my coaches for having to deal with 12-year-old me or just in general, because that's a lot of patience. I've also just I don't know. I grew up being an all sports family. We're a huge baseball and football family, and so growing up, I've had so much support, and I've had some really brutal family game nights, and just some intense competition, and so learning that like me as a person that I am still 18 years old. I'm still as much as I am an adult. I'm still a child. I'm still learning, and so I hope people know about me that like I'm giving my best all the time in every aspect, hopefully, and that I'm working to be a better person and a better volleyball player, but like hoping that people are like understanding that I am human and that I will make mistakes. I will have bad games. I will have bad practices. I will struggle sometimes, but it's not just all about volleyball. It's how you are as a person. And so I hope that people can see how I hold myself is not just a volleyball player, but also as a person.
Yeah, and this game has taken you to some pretty great experiences. Wanna bring up the Under Armour All-American game. That looked awesome. You guys got so much gear. They were, like, hyping you guys up all over social media. That looked fun.
Oh my gosh, it was so fun, and it was even more fun because I've been playing against these girls all over the country since I was probably 12. A lot of these girls you see across net, you see across, convention centers, but it's finally putting a personality to a face and, like, trying to you're gonna see these girls in college, you're gonna have those matchups, and so I, like, can't even describe we truly got spoiled. Like, I feel like people see it on Instagram, you see it, you're like, "Wow, that's a lot." You don't truly know unless you experience it how much you get, and it's not even just gear, like, the experiences and the people you meet and just oh my gosh, it is insane. Like, I just remember seeing a lot of girls and I'm like, "I remember playing you when we were 14 and now we are, like, best friends." And it's so fun, and, like, I bonded with, like, Bergen and Harper about their experiences with UA, and it's, like it's so cool that you're able to bring such, like, a big community together to celebrate volleyball and, like, all under, like, one stage. And so I I can't even, like, put into words how insane that experience was, and especially getting to play with Devin Weist, who was my club teammate, playing against her and experience all of that together was just so amazing, and, like, Campbell Flynn was my co-captain and roommate, and so getting to see how the next 4 years are gonna be with her, and it was just such a fun unreal experience, and it's something to be truly grateful, but also put into perspective how much volleyball has grown. I feel like
Yeah.
that's what I got out the most of it is just how much the sport is being celebrated.
Yeah, I don't think that was a thing 5 years ago
Right.
when you look back whatsoever, but it's amazing to see all that growth. What was it like getting set by Campbell Flynn and obviously a future teammate and also Manayo Beche on the other side of the net?
It was just like I've played USA with Campbell. Me and her are really close, but like I feel like it's different because we know that this is more than just Under Armour. Like we know this is going to be how the next 4 years are going to be, and learning like little small details about each other, not just off the court, but not just on the court, but off the court, and learning to like just like little quirks about ourselves and as people. And it was so fun because like I feel like me and Campbell are both very expressive. I think I'm much louder than she is, but she has that calm, cool and collected, and I feel like I'm more of that like fiery, like screaming, like pushing people. And so I feel like that's also what balances us really well is that like as co-captains, we like gave both aspects of leadership. So that was really cool to experience. Manaya is just a monster. I don't know how else to put it. She's just a beast and she's an even better person. She's so incredibly aggressive and physical at the net, but talking to her, she's such a like put together and soft spoken person. And it's just like it's actually so funny to really think about it because on the court, it's like, wow, this girl is a monster. She's insane. But then talking to her, you're like, wow, you're just a normal person. And it's so funny. And I remember meeting her at like tournaments, and I'm like, you're just such a cool person to be around. She's just Manaya is like I don't even know how to describe her. Manaya is just so funny, and she's just like the way that all three of us gel together, like different personalities, it was just such a fun experience to like see the next 4 years, all of us together.
Mm. Yeah, got a little sneak peek.
Right.
Have you gotten to talk to Carrie and Ryan Hunter as well?
Yeah, I've gotten to talk to Carrie. We've been a lot of dorm planning, a lot of event planning and just like checking on each other. I'm really excited to see Ryan and Carrie because I feel like it's different because our class is so close. Our class is very like we have group chats, we text all the time, we call each other, and it's like I feel like that gives us the upper hand on some classes because we are just all really close as friends, and so that chemistry on and off the court is there, and so I'm so excited just to be in the same place as all of them and to experience freshman year together and try to figure out how college and how to be a college girl together, and they're just amazing people, and so I'm just so excited for all of it.
Have you gotten to connect a lot with the current Huskers right now too?
Yeah, I have played with Andy, Laney, and Bergen on USA teams. I've me and Harper text, we call. She's Harper is such a good role model for me because being in the same position, not just, in volleyball, but like she was the number one player going into college and she's or like won all these awards. And so being able to look up to someone who's in the same position as you is so like it's very comforting and it's helpful because she's probably gone through the same things that I have. I really love I feel like me and Lady connect a lot because we have the same celebration style. We're very much like pushing, screaming, slapping the floor, just like really excited to be playing volleyball. Andy and Bergen, it was so cool playing on a team with them just because of, you see them on TV and these big names and you're finally peppering with one of them during warm-ups and it's like, oh my goodness, like I'm literally peppering with Andy Jackson right now. Like this is unreal. And it's like getting to see and like travel with them and see how they hold themselves outside of volleyball. It's just I'm so thankful to be looking up to that class and to just even the future teammates. Like I'm still really close with Becca. Becca and I have talked a lot. She's so sweet and like they're just really nice and caring people. And so that's what gives me so much comfort going into college because I know that I have a good support system if needed.
Well, what are you most looking forward to when you arrive in Lincoln on campus?
I'm honestly like outside of volleyball, I'm really excited to decorate my dorm. I feel like I've been dreaming about decorating in my dorm since I was 5, like going to college, and now I'm finally doing it. And so I'm excited for that Target run and that Home Goods run and that TJ Maxx run of just like getting to customize my own space and do it with Campbell. Volleyball wise, I'm just excited for that first practice and that first meeting of just like all sinking in that I'm, a part of this amazing program. And honestly, I am very excited for the cold.
Oh,
Right. And everyone says that. And I think I'm more excited because it's something new. I've lived in Arizona my entire life. And, winters, it's probably 45 degrees right now. And it's like, you're probably like, wow, that's not even that cold because it's not that cold. And, it still gets to 85 in the afternoons. And I don't own a winter coat yet, but I am excited to go get one, and I'm excited to experience my first snow. And I don't even know. I'm just excited for something new and the culture of all of it. But more importantly, I'm more excited to decorate my dorm. Truthfully.
I love it. I love it. The Target runs, the home good runs, that's gonna be fun. I'll leave you on this. Have you envisioned what it's going to be like walking out at Bob Devaney for the first time?
I have not. I think I've, yeah, I remember even my first time walking into Bob Devaney as a freshman in high school, kind of wide-eyed, chills. I think I even teared up a little bit of just like you can feel the legacy going through that gym and that arena. And I'm I can't even imagine the feelings I'm gonna feel on the first game day and the first like, what is it, media day and like when everything is starting to unfold and I'm just in a heart of gratefulness of just like this is all happening and I like the things that I've dreamed about and worked for are finally unfolding. And so obviously there's so much work to be put in, but like thankful for the journey and thankful that I'm put in this position in the first place. And, I'm excited to go in. I'm excited to, get better. I'm excited to even struggle to get better and grow and give myself that space of like I deserve to be here and I can only grow from here. And so that's what I'm really excited about.
Well, Trey, we can't wait for you. Thanks so much for the time today.
Thank you.